It must be stated that political violence is perpetrated in order to achieve political goals. The Inspector General of Police, IGP Usman Baba AlKali, has blamed the increasing incidents of political violence in our country on some state governors. The police chief let the cat out of the bag when he met with the leadership of the political parties and other stakeholders in Abuja. He should know, of course. Of course, the meeting was designed to present a common front in addressing the issues. So how easy is it to teach old dogs new tricks, Ibn Abo?
You see, the problem with Nigeria are Nigerians, obviously. And then the major problem we have are our leaders. Because majority of them are using their offices to coerce people.
Muscle
Muscling them into doing things.
Whip people into line.
You understand? So at the end of the day, you realize that it seems as if you have no choice than to dance to their tunes.
Yeah.
So that's weaponization of poverty.
Not only poverty, of power. Because you have the power, you begin to, there are times that the person may not say anything, but there's so much body language that you don't need to be told that if you don't fall into line, you're going to be in trouble. So some of our leaders also, honestly...
Sorry, part of it is self-censorship, especially in the media.
Exactly. You can't... Okay, you have a story. We're talking about media not taking up some stories or not doing follow-up and all that. You have some stories and a particular politician is restless and he begins to press all the buttons here and there. By the time he continues to press buttons, it will slow you down. It will discourage you.
And then the man on the street considers the press as being part of the mess, of the morass. Adekule, the IGP is telling you and I that governors chiefly are the purveyors, they are the promoters of electoral violence. You don't doubt him, do you?
No, I don't. And apart from governors, politicians generally, and their agents.
So are we to take it that these people are more powerful than the country?
That's the way they behave. So even if we fail to acknowledge that fact, but that's the way they behave, and that's the way they want us to see them. So politicians, those who are already in public office, then those who are not in public office, and they have their surrogates everywhere, in the professions, in the motor parks, in everywhere, in associations,
So the country appears polarized, captured.
Not polarized, captured, powerless. You get my point? Powerless. You see, I talked about weaponization of poverty. You know, poverty can be in terms of material possessions, but what of here too? They make sure that
Poverty of the intellect.
So they capture the powerful men and women. They feast on that. They weaponized poverty. So when you look at the people that carry out violence, it's very hard to see the sons and daughters of the elite. These are people from poor homes who depend on crumbs from our big men. So they send them on this kind of,
satanic errand.
It's satanic, God bless you. Yoruba would say, something or something like that. So their children, no. They are better abroad or schooling abroad in best schools, or they are in safe places. They don't move there. So when the IGP was talking, he knows because the records they have. You get my point?
The facts are before
and
him.
Of course, and in most cases, the institution, the police, that institution is powerless.
Yes, but there are relevant laws to deal with things like this.
But where is the independence?
Of
See, let me tell you, let me give you
Who's
this.
independence?
I'm talking about, you think because you are the IGP, you can just do anything?
No, but the law empowers you to apply the laws.
If that's the way every IGP does, I don't know how many one of them will spend 1 week in office.
No vex. I'm not sending the IGP any job. But if the man tells me electoral violence are promoted by governors,
Yes.
what does he expect me to do?
The governors, number one, by law, you cannot arrest them.
I know.
You know they enjoy immunity, the deputy governors, the president, the vice president. You get my point? Mm-hmm. But the law does not say you cannot investigate them.
Yeah.
At least Gani Fawemi was able to achieve that through the court. And it is settled in law. You can investigate anybody. So when they are out of office, do the right thing. Unfortunately, even as we talk about the media just now, we are always in a hurry to forget.
Yeah.
You get my point?
Because of our peculiar environment. Even about, in all of this, the journalist in you suffers. As in this case,
Hugely.
the police in the policeman suffers too.
Hugely, because you know what you can do. You know what you have to do. But you are just limited.
You are hamstrung.
Exactly. And then don't forget, citizens, that in this country of ours, when we're talking about the law, to some people, the laws are applied. To some other ones, the laws are interpreted. You see, while you are interpreting the law, you begin to find, because every law has its loophole. You only need to find it. As you are interpreting the law, you begin to find loopholes, and before you know it, this person, this big man, will escape. But if it's an ordinary man, once and for all, the law is slammed, is applied.
Look at the other day, the chairman of the EFCC started by saying 3 governors. We now have info on them. 2 of them in the north, 1 in the south. They are guilty of messing with our naira. He has increased the number. But again, what does he expect a powerless man like me to do?
What do we do? It's not about telling us we have 20 governors or 20 persons, this and that. Who are they? And then what are you going to do? We have the laws there. Let the law take its course to the fullest. Whoever, irrespective, even if you are yet enjoying immunity, you won't enjoy it forever.
Yeah.
There will come a time you step out of that office. How about taking it up thereafter? But you see, in Nigeria, if a story persists for 2-3 months,
he don't try.
He don't try.
Adequately, but you remember that in the immediate aftermath of the storming of INEC offices at Abeokuta and Ilesha, the IG told us they had made some arrests. And so on and so on. Am I making sense to you?
You are, but do you usually hear anything about it? And the press in Nigeria, do they always follow up on that story? To ask. That's why I said the media is highly culpable in this aspect.
Yeah.
Because the biggest power that we have, which is the power of follow-up, we don't use it.
Yeah.
And when you don't use it, the situation is messy, continue to be messy.
So, IG, we want to thank you for this story. We thank you very much. But then, do we wait for the next scene, act 1, scene 2, or scene 2, act 2? Or what do you call it?
It shouldn't be inconclusive.
I do want to laugh today.
They should follow it.
All right. I hear Chris is reaching us from Jos Plateau State. Chris, good evening to you. Welcome.
Good evening. Actually, journalist hangout.
How do you do?
We are doing great.
Go on.
Yes. Yeah, the citizen, good evening, and Binabo and the people on the panel there.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, we're talking about ICPC and EFCC. The point is that ICPC is doing its work in a very meticulous way without coming to branding news. But the EFCC is an institution which the government is used to witch hunt people. That is why they publicize everything they are doing. Recently, the chairman of EFCC was sent to prison for floating court order. So what happened? Another court came to dismiss that because what they are doing, the whistle blowing something was working. It's just because the thing was affecting the men on top. You can imagine the COI and a lot of money that were recovered. And at the point they stopped paying the 5% to the whistleblowers, and they deliberately killed it. That is why you see here.
Thank you.
Not doing
Thank
the
you.
right thing.
Chris, many thanks. But, let the debate continue. At least our business here is to help provoke a debate, provoke the opinion. We allow the IG to do the rest. We wish you well. Okay.